Welcome to a card tutorial. In this card tutorial, I will be showing you how to make a website with card using your mobile, and I will also be showing you how to do this if you're using a laptop, desktop or PC. If you're new here to the Anthony Allen YouTube channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you can find more videos like this. This will be featured in my online money playlist. I currently upload 3 different types of content here on YouTube: gaming, video editing and online money videos. This video will be featured in my online money videos because this is saving you money. You'll be able to do this for free, but there is also a price plan and we will be covering that later on in this video. Now that you've subscribed and you've pressed that thumbs up, hopefully, don't forget that you can also hit me up in the comment section down below if you have any questions about what we're covering here in this video. And with that covered now, let's show you how to do this and I'll walk you through how you can create a free website using card. Let's go. Once you've followed the link that I've given to you in the description and you've signed up successfully, you will have this page here. You have 2 options. You can choose a starting point or you can open the dashboard. In this case, we're going to select choose a starting point. Simple, free, fully responsive, one-page sites for pretty much anything. Let's choose a starting point. Just thought I'd cover that there. Here is where you can select your template. Now, some of these templates are for the Pro service. You will need a Pro service in order to select these templates that have Pro in the corner of the screen. But these others you can use for entirely free. Now we're going to scroll through until we find a website, a one-page website that we like. Let's say, for example, you are an influencer and you have multiple social media networks and you want to share those multiple social media networks with a one-page website. Let's select one of those websites because it would be fairly easy to create those very, very quickly. Now I'm going to scroll back up because I've already seen a suitable website for that. And you can see one right here. I'm going to select this website. This would also be brilliant for a graphic designer, a freelancer, a self-employed person, a photographer, or maybe even an entertainer. We can change this website. Now, if something is empty, for example, this profile image here is empty, there is an X on the screen. You can see that X, that means there's nothing inside of that image there. There are parts of the website that you cannot leave empty. For example, the background. If I click on this, I can upload an image or I can select a picture from the library. In this example, I'm going to select a picture from the library. These images can be used on your website. I'm going to select one which is suitable for the type of website that I'm trying to create. In this case, let's say that we're a DJ. I'm going to select this image here. There are various different things you can do to this image. For example, you can change the size. You can change it to fit, stretch, default, or you can add custom parameters. In this example, we're going to select fill. It will fill the background. Now, from here, let's show you what happens when you remove the gradient. Select none. Now you have the image without a gradient on top of it. I like this. There is also a noise, which is the type of fuzz which is added to the image. If we select noise and select something else, for example horizon, you will now see the difference. Let's say we don't want anything. Let's select none. Now you have the flat image on its own. Once you're happy with the background image, you can select done. Now we have some information here that we can change. And we also have a profile image that we can add here. Let's select this, and just like we did before, we can add a profile image. Now there is only one option when you're adding this profile image, there is upload. But you can also remove this profile image completely if you don't want it on your website or don't need it. In this example, I'm going to select upload and then I'm going to upload an image. I've now selected an image of myself and I'll resize the circle just as you would on social media until you're happy with what you have. I've now added the image of myself. You can change the information which is given, for example the name here. I'm going to select my name. Once you're happy, you can select done. The image can also be a hyperlink. So if you select the image, you can actually add a link to it. This is entirely optional, but it's also available. Select done if you're happy. You can also change the text that appears on screen. Hello. Now we have a stack of buttons also appearing on this website here. If I select the stack of buttons, I will then be given the buttons here on the left hand side. I can actually remove these as I see fit, or you can add a new one. You can remove the entire stack by selecting delete this element. You can also change what buttons lead to or what the button says. For example, if I select this stack on the left, I have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Markerpad. I'm going to change all of these except for Twitter to YouTube. And change the icon to YouTube. Now there are various different icons you can add. For example, if you scroll through here, you can see many icons that you can add here that are available on Carrd. Carrd have really thought about all the different websites and social media services that you could be using. Trello is also available there that you might have seen. I'm going to keep scrolling until I find what I'm looking for. Here you can see YouTube. Now I'm going to do that for the same in the rest of these here. But I'm also going to show you how to add a URL. Now let's go to my YouTube channel. I'm going to find my YouTube URL. My YouTube URL is right here. I'm going to select Control and C in order to copy that. I'm going to go back to the Carrd website and then I'm going to enter this into the URL. That means that this button will then take them to the YouTube website. I've successfully changed all of the buttons except for the Twitter button at the top to a YouTube button. Now we have a second stack to the right hand side on this template. So it's important you select the right template, otherwise you could have something that's fairly awkward to get rid of. For example, if I select this stack here on the right hand side, and then I want to remove the entire stack, if I select this button here to delete this element, you will have a grey box. Now that grey box is fairly annoying to have a look at. So let's say if we even select the colour here, you can change different elements, for example, where everything sits, the vertical height of the padding, the gutters, and so forth. But there is still that really ugly grey box that remains. So do keep in mind that if you want to delete anything on the website template that you have selected, it can be quite awkward to get rid of things if you have made a big change to the template. I'm going to undo my last action by selecting this button here on the top right hand side. Until the button stack has returned. You can also delete individual buttons. So for example, if I select here now, and I select to remove Discord, that button has now been removed. There's also an email button. There will be an email button on most of the website templates that you will see here on Carrd. We have now created a basic website. But once you're happy with your website, how do you publish it? We're about to show you this now. If I select this save button here, it says publish this site. I'm going to select this. Your site will be required to have a title, a description, and a URL. Now your title is the title of your website. This is not the same as a URL. This is what your website is called. For example, I can call this test website. Or, in context, DJ website, because I may have more than one type of website. Now you can also give your website a description. I'm going to enter DJ website. Check out my services. Now if you would like to add a custom domain or your own domain to your Carrd website, you would need to purchase your domain from a domain provider. For example, GoDaddy is a domain provider. Now at this point, this is where you would create your URL, your website address. This needs to be in lowercase if you're entering a free URL here. But let's say you want your own domain and you've purchased a domain from a domain provider. For example, GoDaddy, if you've purchased a domain from GoDaddy. For example, www.madeup.com. Let's say you own that domain. In order to connect that to this website, for it to redirect to this website that you have created, you would then need to have a pro version of card.co. And I will show you the price plan after this. If you'd like to save offline because you're not ready to publish your website publicly, you can also do that by selecting this button here. Or you can publish to a free domain which is available to you, which is a .card.co URL. Let's say, for example, you want to call your website djservice.card.co. It's going to check if this is available. It all needs to be in lowercase. This is currently available. I can now publish this to a public website by pressing publish. This is now publishing. The publishing is done. You can visit your website straight away by selecting the view website. I'm going to remember this URL because I'm also going to enter it into the search bar here on my browser. I'm going to select view site. This will take us to the official website which we have just created. But if I copy the URL here, djservice.card.co, and press enter, you will see that the website loads. Now some of these buttons don't work because I purposely left them without an address. If I select these buttons, it will take me to an empty address. There is nothing at the end of that button there. If I go back to my website and I select that YouTube button, it will take me and redirect me to my YouTube page because this is a button that I have filled. So always remember to check the elements that you have on your website. Let's show you the price plan and what's available to you when you have a pro account here on Card. I'm going to select the menu here, then I'm going to go back to the dashboard. From the dashboard, you can see this icon that says upgrade to Card Pro. I'm going to select this. Here you have a price plan available. You have the Pro Lite, which is $9, the Pro Standard, which is $19, and the Pro Plus, which is $49. This is for 1 year of usage, so you can have all of these websites for 1 year. You also have the free websites, which don't cost you anything. Choose a plan, then instantly upgrade using PayPal or any major credit or debit card. Automatically renew yearly or simply pay as you go, whichever works for you. Now you can scroll through to see what's available to you. Now there will be branding on your free website, of course. It will say this website was made with Card, and that will be branding on your website. You can remove this when you have a pro account. You can have 3 sites, premium URLs, no branding, high quality images, large images and videos, no element limit, pro templates, custom templates, video uploads, slideshows, site icons, share images, site transfers, and sharing. Now that's just with the Pro Lite, and there was a lot more with the Pro Standard and Pro Plus. So it's well worth having a look through that to see what's available to you. I mean, the Pro Plus has 25 websites that you can create. This is a brilliant price plan if you intend to create a lot of websites with many heavy images and more. Definitely check that out if this is something for you. But of course, you can create your websites here for free. Definitely well worth checking out Card. Remember to look at the link in the description. I'm now going to quickly go over how you can do this on mobile for those of you that are on mobile and maybe struggling with the different view type. So here we are on the mobile version of Card.co. This is not an application, instead I'm using a web browser. From here I'm going to log into my Card account using the details that I have entered. You should find yourself here after you've clicked the link in the description. Don't worry if you don't have an account yet, follow along and select login at this point. This will load the second page where you can sign up or log in using your details. In this example, I'm going to select, of course, login and enter my details. Currently in 2022, the Card development team have not patched this at the moment of me making this video, but of course this may be patched in future. There is also no Card application that you can use on your mobile, so you will have to use a web browser at this current moment in time. Follow the link in the description, which will take you directly to the Card website. Let's continue this Card tutorial. Once you've logged in, you will have your websites available if you've created any websites. Of course, you will be new to Card if you're watching this video, or you're just familiarizing yourself with Card and how to use it. So, of course, you may be starting your very first website. In this case, we're going to select the plus icon in the top right hand corner there. This is where you will be able to choose a starting point, just as we did on the desktop version. Now here I'm going to select a slightly different template. For those of you who want to see a different type of website here on Carrd, I'm going to select something similar, but it has differences. So there's going to be a difference here. So I'm going to select, let's go for, let's say, this one right here. I like the look of that one. We're going to get through this one quite quickly now, because I've already shown you the basics. So here it says click an element and bring up the properties, drag and drop an element to arrange. Okay, got it. Go to menu instructions to show this screen again. I'm going to select OK, got it. So just as it did, it's telling you can drag and drop things to move them around. For example, if I select this button, this text here, you can see that I can change this text. For it to say hero protagonist, instead it can say Anthony. I'm going to select done. If I'm happy with how this looks already, I can select done, but of course there are a few different changes you can make. You can change the text. For example, you can change the font. I didn't show you this on the desktop version. This is why you should always watch the video all the way through into the end. There may be something else that I show you, always make sure. Now I'm going to scroll through. Of course, you can change the margins, the letter spacing, which is how far apart the letters are individually, the line spacing, which is how far apart the lines of text are individually. The appearance, for example, you can change it to lowercase, uppercase, or small capitals. I'm going to leave this as normal, and the alignment, of course, is how the image is within the text parameters. For example, if you want the text to be in the middle of the web page, of course you would select center. If you want it to be to left, as you would writing from left to right, you would select left. If you're writing from right to left, if you're maybe in the east, you would select the right. And then you have justify. I'm not sure what justify means, so we'll select that so we can find out. Let's scroll down slightly now, and at this point I'm going to select done to see what justify looks like. Justify is something else entirely. I'm not sure what it's trying to justify, but it's on the left. From here, we're then going to select the next line of text. So of course, just as you would with the text that you've just seen up above, you can change this accordingly. We're going to add a drop shadow to this text here to give it maybe a glowy kind of effect. So I'm just going to change that to white, and I'm also going to blur that as well to give it even more of a glow. I'm going to select done here. You can also automatically optimize this element for viewing on mobile screens. Now that's absolutely brilliant if you're creating a mobile website. I would do that for the title as well. Of course, if you're intending for most of your viewers to be coming from mobile, if you're you have a lot of visitors coming and using from mobile. I'm going to select done now at this point. Now you can see on the top menu here there are a few different icons. I'll walk you through these now. You have the menu icon, which is at the far right, which is 3 lines. If you select this, you have a few options. You can undo the action you've just made, you can publish your site, you can start over, you can look at the documentation, and there's also instructions, and you can go back to the dashboard. Now I'm going to select publish, and the reason why I'm going to do this is because we want to save the site, because many of the changes when you're using mobile won't be automatically saved. So if you go to this stage at this point, it will save your changes, and you can save this offline so that the website won't be published. So for example, let's call this DJ website. Actually, no, let's call it something different. Let's call it Ant Test. Press done. Let's give it a description. This is a test. Press done. And we're going to save this as a draft offline. And select save. Now that has now saved the changes, as opposed to me going through making loads of changes to my website on my mobile and accidentally clicking off the website, because I've just done this and the changes were not saved. Even though it was just a few changes, it can be a bit of a hassle. So that's a little tip for you here today. Now the profile image there, you cannot select from the Carrd library. You would have to upload an image. Now because I'm using my mobile, I can upload an image from my mobile library. If I select upload, I can then either take a photo right now. For example, let's take a photo. Hopefully this will appear on screen as well. Let's scroll that around, and here I am. Hello. I'm going to select me. I'm going to say use photo, and we're going to use this photo. Now it needs to turn around. Alright, so maybe we can turn this around by pressing the sort of circle-y icon in the top left hand corner there. I'm going to turn it around until it's upright, and then I'm going to make this the image that we're using here. Of course, you can add a link to this image if you would like to. In our case, I'm going to select done. And you can see that image there. Very easily, quickly change that around. You can also, of course, change these buttons. Now there's a YouTube icon that's here. You can also delete those, and the image and everything that it says underneath, you can also change this. So for example, if you don't want it to say subscribers, you can literally just say YouTube. Because I know many of you like to hide the amount of subscribers you have. That is no problem at all. I'm going to select done now. Now that says YouTube. Now if you don't have that many subscribers, of course you can change this to what you have if you would like that, or you can just literally add whatever you like. It could be like, you know, channel. If you want it to say channel, it can say channel, no problem. Now I've selected the X, but it's also saved that change. Now you can see that that doesn't fit into that space there, and I've done this purposely to show you if you make these changes on mobile, of course it needs to be mobile friendly. Now of course the buttons you can also play around with. If you don't want the email there, you can delete that. Now with the merch, of course, you can change this accordingly. You can change this icon if you don't want it to be a cart. It can be something else. For example, it can be download, fax, folder, heart, home, link, or whatever you see fit here available. If you accidentally press the back button while you're creating your website, this will actually make it an issue when you're trying to create your website, because you will actually lose your website if you have not saved it. At this point, what you would do, if you have saved it like how I've just taught you, you'll be able to load Carrd again and access your website. If you have not saved it, you may have this page appear on the screen. What you would then have to do is go back into Carrd by visiting the website all over again, open the dashboard, and you'll be able to enter the website that you have created offline. Now, I really wanted to show you that because there may be some of you that get frustrated because you've accidentally selected the back button while you're creating your website. This is valid to mention in this video. Always watch these videos through to the end because I will solve things for you. And as you would if you were using the desktop version of Carrd, you would publish publicly to your Carrd.co website if you're using a free version, or if you're using the Pro Standard or Pro Plus version of Carrd, you will be able to publish to your custom domain URL. On screen right now, you should see some additional content that will be helpful or useful or entertaining to you. I've also put the Online Money playlist on the screen as well. You can check that out. There is a lot more that I cover in the Online Money playlist to help you with your money on and offline, including PayPal, Cash App, and other fintech. So it's well worth checking out that playlist. And there is also some more content on screen that you will also find relevant to you. With that said, you can also click my face to subscribe, which will be somewhere here. And with that said, see you in the next video right here on the Anthony Allen YouTube channel. You are awesome. Thanks for watching.